Top of the morning to everyone. I hope you can all hear me okay. Let me just double check real quick. Okay, yeah. I was going to do this live stream a little earlier, but I got a little bit busy. I haven't watched the whole video either of um, what I'm about to talk about. I only saw bits and pieces because, again, um, I was a bit busy. As you guys know, due to some personal circumstances, I wasn't able to live stream last week. A lot of stuff fell behind schedule. Organizing, of course, as you can see, fell behind schedule. I'll probably talk about it in a different stream. But just to add some context to the title and to what I'm about to stream right now, there is this person on the internet called your boy Zack. He used to have a channel called Diversity and Comics, I believe it was. Um, as I've said previously in like maybe one or two live streams, I am not very versed in Comicsgate lore, so to speak. I only know tangentially on what it's about, really. You know, when I was an SVA, it was kind of like at the start of all this stuff, and you would always hear about Comicsgate in the hallway and in the classes. Kind of like a water cooler type of thing. Like you would hear, like, "Oh, did you hear about diversity in comics? Did you hear about Ethan Van Sciver and all that stuff?" So I am relatively aware of Comicsgate, the beginnings of it. I'm not really up to speed on how that's gone on eventually. Once again, it's no secret that I was a big fan of Ethan Van Sciver's artwork. Um, when he did his YouTube channel, when it was about commentary about his comics, doing let's draws and portfolio reviews and stuff like that. I actually would watch the channel when it became more of a pop culture kind of channel. That's when I kind of honestly dipped out because it's not my speed, to watch on YouTube. If I were to watch YouTube channels that spoke about pop culture and whatnot, I would probably follow another channel or something like that. But I'm not like that big into like the whole pop culture YouTube channels and what have you. Like I was a lot more interested when it was more about the art itself, and before like the whole controversy happened and whatnot about Comicsgate. Talking about your boy Zach, I was marginally aware of Comicsgate. I have a few colleagues that were there right at the beginning, and they would like share videos every now and then with me. They were interesting videos, I guess. He would like tear apart comics and stab them and whatnot. He built a pretty good following. Just talking about his thoughts about comics. Of course, things got infamous when he started doing the whole um, thing against Heather Antos. And at that time, he was on Twitter as well. I believe he eventually um, shut down his own Twitter. And he kind of made a name of himself. Actually, let me put some background music. I'm used to hearing like that background music in the background redundancy aside. So yeah, people call your boy Zack pretty much the founding father of comics gigs, and I am aware that he has done like quite a few crowdfunders. And if you're in independent comics, if you're like crowdfunding your own comic, like there's no way that you don't know at least something about Comicsgate, because it's something that's become so kind of big in the last couple of years, especially in like 2017, 2018. Like that was like almost what everyone would be talking about, like again, water cooler kind of conversations. Excuse me, I may have to get some water at some point myself. And I have purposely stayed away from talking about Comicsgate and not talking about anything too controversial, not because I'm a safe kind of person that shies away from controversies, especially if you've seen my other live streams with Chago Rodriguez, Boricua Contra Todo, the Spanish language live stream. I definitely do not shy away from hot takes and controversial stuff, but there are just some things that I don't want to bother with in terms of drama. And Comicsgate is like that kind of drama that just kind of sticks for a while, if that makes sense. And I'm the type of person that I just want to like talk about one thing and then just, move on to the next. And if I'm talking about this, it's just to give context to this video and whatnot. And I'm not here to talk about whether Comicsgate is good or bad or neutral or whatever, because again, I don't really want to talk about that topic specifically. I'm only bring it up for, the context of who um, your boy's is. I don't even recall his real name or government name, as they say. But it's out there for those that are interested in those kinds of things. Like, it's a really silly thing to talk about. Like, I usually wouldn't even talk about it, except that in this latest video, he made a very broad generous bluff. Yeah, I haven't like slept in a week or something. He made a very broad generalization of live streamers, and I've been live streaming for like about a year now, pretty much, maybe a little bit over a year now. And it's a lot of fun, and since it's a broad kind of generalization that he made, I just kind of want to not stand up for myself, but just give my own perspective and just kind of dissect what's kind of going on, because it's just a really bizarre, in my opinion, take that Zack has on live streaming. If I can call you Zack. Anyway, he pretty much made his, crowdfunding his comic books and his franchises based upon the principle of treating the fans, the customers, better than how mainstream creators treat their customers. From the small bits that I remember, he would pretty much call himself a hot dog vendor, and that he was just going to concentrate on giving good customer service so that people would, continually buy and support his projects, which is not a bad stance to take, especially if you're an indie creator. You definitely have to wear many, many hats as an indie creator, and especially if you don't have like the budget to compete against the machine of a Marvel, of a DC that will have a PR team that will do promotions and put out there the newest releases, do all those, commercials pretty much. Like sometimes they'll do small YouTube trailers. Of course, they'll do ads in the floppy comics as well and whatnot of other titles and all that stuff. And even like webtoons, like for as controversial as some of the ads were, started doing, their whole PR team doing ads in subways here in New York City and whatnot. The thing is that, again, you have to be like a writer, sometimes an artist as well, editor, letterer, colorist, PR team. You have to pretty much wear all those hats yourself if you don't have the budget to contract someone to do it, to outsource that. So he definitely concentrated a lot on the customer service aspects of selling comics and whatnot. And the gist of the video, again, I have not seen the whole thing. I'm just going to live stream with all of you this video, giving my reactions in real time. But he talks about how he feels that if he does a live stream, that's something that he's being forced to do, that he doesn't owe anyone to do live streams to promote his comics or to just like talk about his projects or whatever. He like has some very bizarre takes that we'll get into once I start playing the video and those parts come up. But essentially, he's just saying like, I appreciate the support, I appreciate the money that you're giving me, but I don't owe you guys anything in terms of giving you live streams and such, which is to each their own. Like I definitely don't have a problem with that. For the longest time, I didn't live stream myself, not because I didn't think I didn't owe it to anyone, but because I'm actually a very introverted person. I've said it before, I'm very introverted and I usually kind of avoid being in the spotlight and whatnot. I'm always more comfortable actually not live streaming or even doing like the smaller videos that I post sometimes. I'm much more comfortable, if anything, doing art videos and just posting trailers of my web comics or just posting speed art of, you know, comic book pages or pinups and what have you, and not even like talk through it at all. And if I have a little measure of eloquence when I speak in these videos like this, either in live stream or in pre-recorded videos or interviews or whatever, it's because I I have had experience doing public speaking, in real life. And there was a time in my life when I was actually in the church when I was young, and I actually sang in front of people, like the hymns. I directed the hymns. I also played guitar as well every now and then with a band in church. And of course, at one point, I actually studied communications. So, aside from doing my own stuff for school, I would help other classmates that were in the more advanced classes to help do their finals projects or midterm projects, which would usually involve doing a short movie or a short film or a music video or something like that. And I would be the one that would do it because since I was also an artist, a lot of them would contact me to be like, hey, I know you're an artist, you're into comics. I need a storyboard artist because it's a requirement for this class. So I need your help. Of course, you will be credited for that help. So, I would just do it and I would tag along because I would see it as a more hands-on experience and an advanced experience compared to the level where I was when I started those classes. So that helped a lot. And then eventually, when I went in to do my associate's degree in fine arts, one of the elective classes that I took was public speaking as well. So, aside from all the experience that I had doing YouTube videos too, like I can kind of hold my own to an extent when it comes to making videos and especially live streams. Like I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable doing live streams now compared to when I first started doing them last year. It's something that's actually helped grow my channel quite a bit as well and has presented me with a lot of new opportunities too, not just on the video side, but in comic books as well. I have been fielding offers to do a lot of freelance writing thanks to these live streams. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. So, as a live streamer, I have my I have thoughts on the issue. I have thoughts on the issue. I said thoughts, not thoughts. So I am kind of thoughtish. Look at my MTV shirt. That says it all. I'm kind of a media whore myself. And speaking of whores, nice segue. When I watched some of the videos, like the thing that came to mind immediately was this scene from Moulin Rouge. Let's see. Just making sure that I'm sharing it. Let me take the audio off for a second of the background music. Let's watch this scene. Like this is the scene that came to mind after watching those portions of Zack's video. Like for context of why I thought about it, Nicole Kidman, she's essentially Zack's fan base that would like to see him live stream, and of course, Ewan McGregor would be your boy Zack, and everyone else that's looking in shock are like kind of his colleagues, I guess. So essentially, as I was saying, Nicole Kidman is his fan base. Ewan McGregor is Zack, and everyone looking around in shock is kind of like his Comicsgate colleagues right now, apparently. Um, Basically, the video is him saying, "I did it my way. I made $100,000 in record time for my project on Indiegogo. I don't owe you anything. I have paid my whore." That's essentially what he said, in my opinion, which led me to think of this following scene from a different movie from The Wedding Singer, which, oddly enough, is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Yeah, that's pretty much my whole reaction to all this, as lame as it is. Actually, let me take this off now so we can just get into um, the Zach's video. But by the way, I wanted to like share with you guys a little bit. Um, I sh- um, I showed this to Chago after the live stream. It was some of the pages I've been doing on the remake of Fred Peterson, the Mighty Warlord Truthful Comics Edition. Just kind of wanted to show you guys a bit of an update. Like I've been retouching some of the pages that were already made because aside from having it in color, I am also trying to do it in, for it to look just as good as it could look in black and white as well, because I am thinking of doing this initial run in black and white. Just kind of putting everything together here so you guys can see the context of everything. There you go. That's the whole page for that one. Yeah, I have a lot of layers on these pages. There's the next page. I'm also going to re-letter it. These first couple of pages that I do have letter because I'm really not feeling the lettering I am. I also have that lettering book that Nate Pieto's of Blambox.com. I have that book that he released of How to Letter. These I haven't gotten around to coloring just yet because I'm still adding some tones and tweaking here and there. This one actually should be there. There you go. That's the following page. Again, I'm tweaking around here and there. And this page, I have to add the tones. I had just finished doing the digital inking on this page right here. So I'm just about to finish this one. Once I finish putting the effects and further tones on this page, that's when I'll go on to this other page and add the toning and all the effects on this one as well. Very exciting times. I'm super excited doing Fred Peterson, the Mighty Warlord. Right, so that's enough of the shameless plug. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work a little bit on these pages while I play the video, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts here and there as well. Let me see. Just looking for his video around here. Oh, here we go. All right, let's listen to your boy Zack. Just in case the channel is Comments Matter with your boy Zack. Do they matter though after this? After this.
Hi everyone, it's your boy Zack, and this is a video about a podcast that I will never watch ever. So before I start, Jawbreakers Forever went into in demand at 2 a.m. Local time here. I actually stayed up to watch it. I wanted to see what it would do. It $96,499 and 3,229 backers, and then it immediately went into in demand, and then everyone got kind of scared because originally I said the $1 was just going to be for the original. So it was up, and then like everyone like stopped backing, and I was like, oh, they think I fell asleep and I forgot to switch it. No, I decided it's going to stay indefinitely. Indefinitely doesn't mean forever. It means until it stops. Right now, what I'm doing is backers to, I'm screwing that one up. Books to backers. As long as it maintains a 2-to-1 books to backers ratio, I will keep it at $1. Once it goes below that, then I'll just put it back up to its regular. So if you want the $1 deal, don't wait. My goal ultimately, by the time this goes to print in probably
Hybrid work is better with Lucid, the visual collaboration suite. Brainstorm visually on an infinite canvas. Identify your team's best ideas.
Why ads? You sure hate super chats, but you sure love ads on your videos.
As many backers as I had on the last Jawbreakers, which was like 4,300. And I've also got Iron Sights 3, Impossible Stars 2 combo campaign. Save 10% if you get them both together. And I just came up with and talking to some friends and brainstorming, came up with the idea for the next book in each of these franchises, which is going to very confusingly be called Iron Sights, then a colon, Impossible Stars. And it explains how these two seemingly very different franchises actually dovetail, and that Iron Sights is the prequel to Impossible Stars. So does anyone have very intense memories attached to locations? I don't know why, but when the X-Men animated series, the first episode came out, that was so huge to me that like I went to the old Austin library right afterwards, and like 30 years later, every time I see that building, I remember that episode. This morning I was working in the lawn, and some comments and some emails had bothered me, and there was this one patch, this patch of, and I was just thinking so intensely. So all day that patch of grass and dirt has been associated with this, talk about live streams. I can never get past it ever. It's haunting me. Everything is live streams. You got to do live streams. So
Wow, tell us how you really feel. Like I feel like I have to lower the volume at times. Like, actually, I'm not even going to like touch the. I'm not even going to touch the. I even forgot the word for it. The stylus. I'm not going to touch the stylus. I'm gonna leave it right there because like those like random outbursts kind of are actually surprisingly very distracting if you're trying to create. At least if you're trying to create a somewhat mellow scene like or nostalgic scene like I'm working on right now.
I saw something that was new. Well, no, it's been around, but I never really noticed it. In that, usually you talk about customer service, good customer service. I've always contended that I don't consider Comicsgate to be a formal group because it's like saying that customer service is a formal group. Who wants good customer service? Everyone, right? So then I saw, at first I see customer, and I think they're going to say customer service, and they say customer interaction. And the basic gist of it, as I took it, is that if you want to do crowdfunding, you have to do a live stream, most likely multiple live streams. That is an unspoken agreement. That is something you have to do. It's essentially mandatory. The other one drives me fucking insane is everyone says this phrase, you left money on the table. Well, so and so, they did a live stream and they made 100,000 on their first day. And if you did that, you would have made twice as much. I've literally done that. Multiple campaigns have been launched with hours-long live streaming. You know what my previous best day ever was? 44,000 and 1,100 backers. With this one, the first 24 hours was it was like 2,600 and it was like 80 something thousand.
Like to give a little context, he's talking about this current project that apparently he's doing a $1 deal on his newest book. He was going to do it for, from what I understood on the video, he was going to do it for 24 hours. Just the first 24 hours. So, you know, it can have like a big jump start to his campaign. Um, I'm not really versed in the crowdfunding area. I don't follow as many artists on YouTube as I used to, especially because a lot of artists that I used to follow on YouTube really don't upload stuff anymore. Um, Ale Garza used to have a YouTube video. Scott McDaniel has a YouTube video. The only person really that I kind of follow um, a bit more is David Finch, actually, and his Monday Night Draws. And I used to see every now and again I think it was called Drink and Draw with Joe Quesada and a couple of other artists as well. And Jim Lee does the occasional Twitch video, which I watch. So um, I honestly wouldn't be the best person to talk about how live streaming affects a crowdfunding campaign. I haven't done a crowdfunding campaign myself. But if I were to, and I probably will in the future, I would likely do a live stream to promote it, you know, because it sounds like a pretty good thing to do if you're going to do it. I have some colleagues that have done videos and interviews promoting their Kickstarters and whatnot, and that seems to bring them some level of help. So that is certainly something to, you know, consider. I don't know if it's an unwritten rule that you have to do it, or maybe it's just like some kind of unwritten rule within the Comicsgate community. If I don't even know if to call it community. Like it sounds so fractured, especially the way he described it. But you know, to each their own. But that sounds like, you know, something that you could do to help promote your your project, and the more promotion, the better, in my opinion, anyway.
I literally doubled the revenue, and the amount of backers increased by 2.5. Yes, I do have more than one book on here, but I've had more than one book on almost everything. Having a variant cover is a second book. Having 5 different variants of Expendables and a hardcover, that was 6 books. And I'm running this really bare bones. There's not, a premium one for autographs. There isn't any of those extra things. There isn't what do you call it? The fancy posters. I'm blanking. Prints. None of that. None of that. It's basically a kind of a training wheels. Hey, let me put out a Jawbreakers that isn't 20 months late. That type of thing. So it's a fantastic, unprecedented success. And people are telling me to do something that I've done before and made half as much money. And then when I make twice as much money trying something on my own, I'm just getting freaking naysayers. And it was very, very frustrating. That being said, there are...
Isn't an unprecedented thing that's happening in Indiegogo? Like, this is one thing that I wasn't clear on. Was he talking like in general in crowdfunding, or in his own experience within his own previous crowdfunding projects? Because unprecedented, I'm pretty sure that there are other campaigns that pretty much have likely risen that same amount of money or more, on its first day. Like, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that somebody has to have had that. Like, maybe even Ethan Van Sciver himself. I've heard that his first cyber fraud campaign did like $1 million or something like that. Again, don't quote me on that.
Multiple perspectives on pretty much everything. So I watch a lot of TikTok, and I saw TikTok that it was a promotion for this. So this is Talkville. It's a podcast where this sounds miserable. Smallville's Lex Luthor, Michael Rosenbaum, and Clark Kent, Tom Welling, are reuniting for a new podcast where they revisit each of the long-running series' 217 episodes.
Oh,
this
God.
is a brief history of B&H, everyone's favorite photo and video store. The year was 1973. Let's went to the world's first cell phone.
Let's go, Max.
So I guess once a week for the next 4.
Again, this is something like, this is why I actually even stopped watching the video at first when I was just watching it privately. There's this man for like about 20 minutes complaining about live streaming, complaining about money, and complaining about how live streams are essentially, him pretty much making himself being a prisoner just for a super chat, just to keep people company. Like getting super chats was a bad thing. Don't have ads on your videos then, Like, I feel like a damn prisoner having to watch like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Having to skip ads like every other minute is really fucking irritating, man. Like, I'm going to end up screaming myself at some point.
Years? They're going to watch an episode. When did this start? Like 2005 or something like that? And they're going to go, oh, I remember it was cold that day. Sounds fucking miserable. But they had a promotion where Michael Rosenbaum, and if you just know him as Lex Luthor, I've never watched all of one of his podcasts, but I have a friend where we have like this running joke that Michael Rosenbaum can literally sleep with anyone. Like, you just got to see him as himself talking to anyone. The level of swagger he has is near infinite. You just watch one of his podcasts. I'm telling you, he can sleep. Oh, you're straight? You ain't straight around Michael Rosenbaum. But he'll tell you you're still straight. He's like, hey, it happened. It's the bomb. It happens. I'm the bomb. So anyway,
Okay.
So in this promotional TikTok, Michael Rosenbaum's like, hey, remember Smallville? And Tom Welling like, yeah, no shit. Everywhere I go. Well, he doesn't say this, but his expression is like, everywhere I go, people say Smallville, Superman. He goes, yes, I remember Smallville. He's like, do you watch it? He's like, no. He's like, do you want to watch the old episodes and talk about them with me? And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. He's like, would you do it for the fans? And he sits there and thinks, and he goes, yeah, I do it for the fans. So that aspect of
Okay, I have to like look that up. Like, what the heck? Like, was he seriously like with that kind of attitude? I have to look that up just to like get the context of. Oh, there's a YouTube channel for it already. One second. Let's go ahead and watch that real quick. I'm not like a big fan of jumping back and forth, but again, bear with me. I hadn't seen like the entire video. And like I said, the ads were just driving me crazy too. Like that's the quickest way to not get me to subscribe to your channel. Like I understand that you want that revenue, you want that ad revenue. I can definitely understand it being in the beginning, middle, and end of your video. But to have it like every 2 minutes, it's like, god damn, you're not like on free TV or something. Let's see. Because now I'm super curious about this. And what the hell is your problem about with podcasts, by the way? I'm very partial to podcasts. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is what he out. Let's see if
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area in 90 seconds.
speaking
This
of
simple but
ads,
brilliant trick you can do tonight to
and
eliminate
this
all
is
mosquitoes around you is taking the
this is something that also irritates me to no end. YouTube, 2 minutes and 45 seconds for an ad. This ad is like almost 3 times, 4 times longer than the actual video. I'm sorry, YouTube, but once an ad is over 50 seconds, in my opinion, that's not an ad anymore. That's a short film. I have seen literal films being promoted as an ad on YouTube, or podcasts that last like 2 hours as an ad on YouTube. How do they get away with this shit? I do not know. The video you're referring to. Well,
When is the last time you watched an episode of Smallville, Tom?
I mean, I don't even, probably forever.
What do you say we revisit?
Well, like watch an entire episode.
No, I mean like watch an entire series. Well, and Michael Rosenbaum every week as they rewind every episode of Smallville and discuss their experiences with friends, fans, and co-stars. Talkville, the ultimate Smallville podcast.
wow, you read a lot into that. You read a lot into that ad. I'm not sure if he was playing a bit after watching that. Was he just being cynical? Sarcastic? Was he playing a bit when he was talking about how Tom Welling's reaction was, which was just, what? I saw this seeking answers and context. Now I feel like I need more answers to questions that I didn't even have before, and I hate when that happens. Okay. Let's carry on.
Okay, so you're going to do something for the fans in exchange for, watching Smallville, and I think he was on Lucifer, and he pops up on different things now and then obviously they're trying to make some money off this podcast. Podcasts do very well. I don't like them for the same reasons, many of the same reasons I don't like live streams. So here's my problem. I mean, not only number one, I just don't like live streams. I don't listen to them. I don't watch them. And then all kinds of drama and all that type of shit. Just endless drama.
Well, that pretty much nails it right there. Like that pretty much cements it. He is not going to watch this live stream. I am going to go off the rails. Fuck yeah. Heck yeah.
But whatever. And it's just boring. Like this sounds boring as fuck to me. Like I can see like listening to like 5 minutes of the first episode. Do you know like how miserable is this going to be? Like 10 podcasts in, they're going to be like, yeah, so it was really hot that day on location. It was cold in the previous, but then there was a 2006. It was very sunny.
What?
And it sounds miserable. One of the myriad things I always think about when this case is presented that I owe it to people to do live streams is that in any human interaction, in any human deal of any kind, even freaking prison sentences, there is some solid number to go by. Hey, Tom Welling, you killed 2 people. You're going to jail for 50 years. That's 25 years per person. And you do the 50 years and then you're out.
Hello, my High Priest. This is actually kind of very meta and very ironic. Like, yeah, it is a very early stream today. But I'm actually talking about a guy that's dissing live streams. So this is like a very kind of inception, kind of deception. I don't know what to even call it. Like, I just thought it was amusing, to be honest.
You go to a store.
And by the way, he was also dissing Smallville, so I kind of wanted to, well, not Smallville per se, but at least the new podcast that's called Talkville that's going to have Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum actually go over the Smallville episodes, the entire series, similar to other podcasts like Office Ladies, which is one of my favorite podcasts where Pam and Angela from The Office talk about episodes that were recorded and whatnot, and sometimes other Office cast members pop in. Like one of my favorite ones is when Dwight actually popped in as well on the podcast. Shadow, top of the day to you. I'm just watching a video of this comic book creator that's dissing live streams. And it's been kind of interesting. It's been almost cathartic in a way. For context, again, it's a comic book creator that he pretty much kickstarted the whole Comicsgate movement, at least from my recollection anyway. Like, I'm not very versed in Comicsgate lore, as I say. But I find it interesting that he had a pretty successful crowdfunding for his project, and he just went off the rails because people, his fans, wanted him to do a live stream to kind of promote the comic and to talk about his projects. And he just rants. Like, he goes on a rant, he raises his voice, he kind of like borderline screams. And, you know, since he kind of generalized live streamers, and I am not for generalizations, I just kind of wanted to like watch the whole thing since I only saw bits and pieces of it before. I'm just watching the whole thing now in its entirety and just wanted to give my thoughts on it. Good morning to everyone that's watching. I'm always surprised when somebody pops in.
There's a price on the thing. You go pay the price. You know, but this
It's hella silly,
this
my friend.
you are owed to do live streams.
I already swore.
There's nothing
on this live
quantifiable.
stream.
So you're like, okay, so what do I owe? So you bought a comic for $1. That's a real thing. $1. $1. It's not a trick. How much live stream do I owe you for $1? Or is it that it's $1 paid by 3,000 people plus the ad? Like, do you see what I'm saying? At what point is my debt, my quote debt, repaid? Now, someone has said, "Well, just do a live stream once a month." How long? How long? An hour? Because I tried that like 2 years ago. I tried that. Like,
again, like this is one of the parts that I heard, and again, I have to play it again. I'm sorry, like it gives me serious Ewan McGregor vibes from Moulin Rouge. It really does. Again, this is Zack talking to his fan base, which is basically Nicole Kidman, and the other people around surprised are his colleagues.
This woman is yours now. I've paid my whore. And you're nothing to me.
And you're nothing to me. Hardcore, man. Hardcore.
My ridiculous obsession with love.
Actually, it should be like, thank you for curing me with my ridiculous obsession with customer service. That's his fans crying because he doesn't owe them anything. Well, I hope you have a great work day, Makai Priest. I actually have to catch up on some of your live streams on Twitch. For those of you that don't know, Makai Priest also has a Twitch channel where she streams every now and again when she has the time, Resident Evil games and such. And it's a very cool live stream channel on Twitch. So you guys can check that out. I'll likely leave a link in the description or the comments after the live stream is done. Yeah, Moulin Rouge is something like that kind of grew on me, especially after watching the Broadway show not too long ago. I actually really, really loved the Broadway show. But yeah, again, like those are the vibes that this guy is giving me. Like, sure, you don't have to live stream if you don't want to, but damn, bro, you don't have to go all hardcore like that on your fan base, and much less on live streamers, because it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse.
okay, let's just do like, I don't really like this. I actually actively hate it. Okay, we'll do one, and then all end is like, you got to do another one. When? Next week, tomorrow. It never ends. I don't think, I just don't like live streams. I don't think they're healthy for anyone. I think they are a substitute for something else. You need to do social, go to the gym, get a hobby, like just literally anything.
And that was the point where I pretty much stopped listening, because that actually aggravated me. Not because it touched a sensitive nerve or whatever, or because it's true what he said, but my first impression, was fuck you, your condescension, and the high horse that you rode in, with that condescension. Like, how dare you generalize live streamers like that? You could have just made a short and simple video saying, hey guys, I hate live streaming, it's not for me. I get why you want to have more of it. I get why you like it. It's not something you're gonna get from me, so let's move on from this. But holy shit, man, unhealthy. You're the one that's been screaming to the top of your lungs almost in this video. Wow. You know, like
Literally just go pick up cans on the side of the road. I've never seen someone get better from going on like dozens or hundreds or listening to them. Like one of the things I always say to friends, it's like, you know, this drama between these two people, explain that to your neighbor. Explain that this person is angry, but that this person is friends with someone that said something 4 years ago. You can't do it. If you watch The Founder, McDonald's, before it became, you know, a huge thing with franchises, it was, I think, 2 or 3 stores owned by these brothers. And they,
by the way, if you haven't watched The Founder with Michael Keaton, that's actually a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it when it first came out.
had, you know, typical fare, but they also had like fried chicken and spaghetti, and I think they had tamales. It was just like, what? You want that? Oh, somebody said they want it. Okay, let's sell it. And then, you know, Ray Kroc, he's like, what? Well, no, this is no. Get this. Like, no, I mean, there's fish sandwiches for some strange reason, but everything else is like, okay, we got the burgers and we got the chicken nuggets. Okay, we got a chicken. Okay, so okay, it's all kind of related. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Go into your McDonald's every day for the next 5 years and demand spaghetti or fried chicken. How many, I'm not even going to say weeks, how many days before you just get banned from the property? Like, there has to be an equality. You know, remember when you're learning math and they're like,
I know, right? Yeah, like this was overkill. You know, like again, and I hate to like play this other clip as well. Like this, I hope this clip doesn't get muted or banned because of all these clips. But you know, this is something else that came to mind too, like from The Wedding Singer.
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
You know, because like especially like in this portion right now, like every time he raises his voice, it's like, oh my god. The Founder was a pretty good movie. Like again, Michael Keaton is just such a great versatile actor. Like, you know, you can see him in one movie and you want to cheer him on, and then you see him in another movie like The Founder and you want to strangle him. Like whenever you're able to watch it, like I think you'll like it. Personally, it's probably not the kind of movie that I would like watch over and over again. But for watching it once, maybe twice, like it was definitely entertaining, and it gave an interesting perspective into like that whole aspect of how McDonald's went from like this obscure mom and pop kind of thing to like this worldwide phenomenon. You know, so definitely I would recommend that movie to anyone, especially if you're like a big Michael Keaton fan. Like I think that's one of his best movies that he's acted in. You know, definitely like it wasn't that long after, was it Birdman that was called the movie? That I believe he was nominated for an Academy Award for that movie. I'm probably gonna have to look that up eventually. But yeah, like this guy keeps going more and more unhinged as it goes. Like, there's only like about 7 more minutes left in the video.
the thing about the equal sign is that everything balances out on both sides.
Let me go a bit back.
every day for the next 5 years and demand spaghetti or fried chicken, how many, I'm not even going to say weeks, how many days before you just get banned from the property? Like, there has to be an equality. You know, remember when you're learning math and they're like, the thing about the equal sign is that everything balances out on both sides. If there is a debt, it needs to be formalized. It needs to be, you know, a solid number. It needs to be some sort of formula. I can say it's like, okay, well, I got 3,000 backers and I got $1, but it's 100,000. Divide this by this, and I have to do. It's like community service. I need to do 160 minutes of live streams.
The new best way to make money online that nobody's talking about is something you've never heard of before. It's
and again another 2-minute plus ad. YouTube. 2-minute plus ads are not ads. They are short films. Stop it. Bad YouTube. Bad YouTube. And screw you, Zach, for making me go through these skip videos again. Ugh, it's too early in the morning for fucking vodka.
It's never enough. I've tried it. It's literally never enough. For some people, it's an addiction. It's a replacement for, you know, peers or a hobby, or they don't want to deal with something. There are a very few percentage of people that just, here's the deal. Everyone's like, oh, I just like to talk. People don't talk to their family and real life friends as much as they talk to strangers on live streams. There's nothing about it that seems healthy.
People don't speak to family and friends as much as they talk to strangers on live stream. Are you okay, Zach? Like, this is like a legit question. Like, I know this is a live stream, so he's not gonna watch it. But I hope somebody that watches his videos or something actually like legit asks him, "Are you all right, Zach? Zach, are you okay? Zach, are you okay? Are you okay, Zach?" Because that's a pretty grim generalization right there. Like, first of all, again, like, how dare you? And second of all, like, there are people that don't talk to family and probably would rather talk to stranger, because just because you're family doesn't mean that they're your friend. You know, blood doesn't make your relationship like mutually exclusive with somebody to talk with. Sometimes a stranger on the internet can grow closer to you than actual blood relatives. I have had internet friends that have passed away, and we all come together to mourn and wake this person. It happened not too long ago. Part of it feels like you're just projecting, in my opinion. I could be wrong. This is just me going off of your unhinged rant right now. You know, many people do it for many reasons. Saying that 90% of the people do it just because they're missing something. What are you missing? Like, it sounds like you're the one that's actually missing something to like make such a gross generalization like that. There are people that do it for the money. There are people that do it because they are looking for connections with other people. There are people that just, like you said, like to talk. Yeah, like that's the impression that I'm getting, that he's just projecting, you know, like, I hope he has somebody that he actually talks with, because that is just a bizarre take, you know. Like, granted, I don't really consider like anyone that watches my stream like I'm gonna go to them and be like, okay, you're family now. Like, this isn't like Fast and the Furious, you know, Vin Diesel shit going here. No problem. Thank you so much for stopping by for a little moment, and I hope you have a great day at work. Like again, and this is purely anecdotal. Maybe I'm just part of that magical 10% that really isn't missing something. You know, I'm in a good relationship. I'm working on my projects. Like sometimes it goes, you know, with its ebbs and flows. Sometimes that life gets in the way. But I'm the type of person that tries to roll with the punches as best as I can and try to stay more upbeat and have like a more positive outlook on things. And if there's one thing that I've learned personally from my own experience doing these comics, and when I started doing the 100 days of making comics videos that I've done in the past few years, is that not only do I love making comics, I love to kind of help others get inspired as well to do their own creative endeavors. When I started doing live streams, it was basically talking about confidence and not confusing confidence with I'm blanking out on the word right now. Let me just kind of look up my own live stream because maybe that's what I'm missing, like some memory cells, and that's why I live stream. I believe it was confidence and arrogance. Past live streams, like I don't have that many live streams to be honest. Yeah, confidence and arrogance was like the very first live stream I ever did, and then I did other live streams like talking about stuff that I've done with the comic studio I'm involved with, Truthful Comics, which I showed in the beginning of the live stream, the catalog and all that. I also live streamed while I was illustrating just to kind of, touch base with people on what I'm doing and whatnot. I also make live streams to like make big announcements of what I'm going to launch or when I relaunch my website and whatnot. And also if I see horrible video takes like Zack's, I'll like give my own opinion as well. That's essentially the gist of why I personally do live streams. So that hopefully someone will find something of value either during the live stream or during the replay. Just now, even if it's just to keep someone company for a few minutes, while they're having their coffee or driving somewhere. If I'm fortunate and lucky enough that somebody chooses to listen to me, I'm super grateful for that. Because, you know, going back to like owing, like the people that watch my streams don't owe me that. They watch because they choose to, because hopefully I do give something of value in my content. And whether that makes me a friend or earns me an enemy at the end of the day, I just want to leave a legacy behind of what I'm doing. Something that says, hey, Alvaro Cortez Jr., aka Lance Danger, he did this. You know, kind of leave a record of what I did and hopefully a record of inspiration for people to do their own thing, even if other people have told them not to do it for one reason or another. I'm the type of person that says, I would rather try and fail and know that I failed and know the reason why I failed than not doing it at all and always wonder what if. I am always going to hit my head against the fucking wall saying this to the top of my lungs every time. I would rather know than to keep thinking what would have happened if I've done that. You know, you never know. You just never know. And again, like, this isn't me saying that you're wrong for not wanting to live stream. Just that fucking attitude of condescension that you have towards other people that do enjoy live streaming, not because they're missing something in their life, not because they're miserable and feel like they owe it to someone. You know, you're on the low dissing your own fan base and dissing other live streamers. You said so yourself. It's kind of like some unwritten rule to live stream, to do crowdfunding or whatnot. You're low-key dissing your own colleagues as well. It's one thing that you don't like live streaming, that you feel like it's a prison sentence, that you feel it's community service, that you feel that it's an unending paying of debt to your fans. You can feel that all you want. That's fine, but to call out other live streamers that are just trying to make their own way, the same way that you try to make your own way, that you try to pave your own way. If I'm not mistaken, you used to live stream quite a bit in the beginning when you were trying to grow your channel and grow your brand back when it was diversity in comics. And if I'm not mistaken, your Dark Roast was a live event. The infamous Dark Roast, for those who don't know, he roasted comic book professionals such as Heather Antos. And again, I don't know Heather Antos personally. I can't speak for her. I can only give my opinion based on things that's happened. And he was hard against this editor. She used to be a Marvel editor at the time that he did those rants against her. He did coin pretty much the phrase milkshake girls because of the whole infamous picture now of her and other editors drinking milkshakes after a Marvel Comics reunion meeting or whatnot. You know what? This is your milkshake moment, Zach. Like, this video is you drinking a milkshake. You know, it's like you're sounding almost like the people that you used to rant against. Like, I would have been curious to have seen, like, 2016 Diversity in Comics, watch this video of Comics Matter with your boy Zack, and just know what 2016 Zack would have thought of current Zack. And I don't have much knowledge, again, of his channel, of his videos, because I've mostly only know from when some colleagues and friends would share a random video and be like, check this guy, it's pretty hilarious or whatever. And, you know, I would just watch it out of curiosity, or whenever big drama happened, like, just to, like, keep myself informed and, like, see all the sides of the story. I do like to watch videos that I don't necessarily agree with, but just to have, like, that context of knowing what exactly happened instead of going by hearsay, especially because there are people that are very, very passionately anti-Zack and anti-comics data and whatnot. And again, I'm not going to go into whether this group is a good group, a bad group. If anything, it's a very fractured group from what he's been talking about. You know, like, no real cohesion in it. At least nowadays, I don't know how it was in the beginning, because again, like, I only just, like, heard about Comicsgate when people were just, like, talking about it, you know, in the hallways at campus and whatnot. Because, you know, yes, it was talked about. A lot of people will probably say that it wasn't talked about back then. It was talked about back then, and it's probably being talked about now as much as ever, because some professors and I'm not even going to mention them just to not throw them under the bus and whatnot, but they would like say during the actual class, like, don't be assholes like comic gate creators. You know, it's true. Like, you know, like at least I don't know how it might be now, but that's how it was since I was in school, kind of like during the whole birth of this whole movement, community, whatever you want to call it. You know, if there's one thing that I've learned from Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, and it's something that's like ingrained in my brain right now ever since the first time I heard it. I don't want to be the tallest building in the neighborhood by tearing down the other buildings around me. I want the other buildings to not only get up to my level, but surpass me also. You know, part of me is kind of like genuinely curious about what happened in your life that you get so triggered by a podcast and by live streamers. Like, again, I get it. If you have some kind of mental thing going on, you know, if you have some sort of anxiety, that's perfectly understandable. Again, I'm an introvert myself, and I'm very socially awkward when I'm meeting with people in real life. You know, even more socially awkward than I am in my videos and whatnot. But holy shit, man. Holy shit. For your sake, I hope you do have someone that you actually talk with. You know, whether it be family or friends that you actually talk with outside of the internet or whatever, since you obviously don't talk to family or friends in live streams, since apparently that's community service.
I've made this point a million times. I was talking to another friend, and he's like, you know, one of the problems is it essentially, because one of the things people say is, oh, you got to promote it. You got to promote Jawbreakers Forever. I was like, but you know it exists. You literally just said the name of it. You know it's active on Indiegogo right now. It's been promoted. And then I get, oh, you stealth. Oh, you did a stealth launch. Yeah, I did a stealth launch. I did a video to 100,000 subscribers. The video got 5,000, views, and then the community post, and then I do updates. Like I do stealth launches that have literally like 250,000 advertisements for them. I don't see this as anything where I can, Rosenbaum and Welling, I'm sure they're sharing the proceeds from the advertisements on the podcast. And, maybe they're getting older, there's less acting work, whatever. Their residuals are running out because whatever channel is not showing the reruns anymore, whatever. There's something quantifiable. And I guarantee there isn't some thing where it's like, and if all the money just disappears, we're still going to do 180 more podcasts. Like there's always some sort of escape clause there.
You nincompoop. Like, of course they're going to be doing it for money. Again, like, I had to skip so many videos in goddamn less than 20 minutes on your video. Why would you have videos turned? Why would you have ads turned on your video if you didn't want to have the small pocket change that Google gives you for clicks and views? That's just disingenuous. Like, again, you built your career, your brand. You built your brand on clickbait, on drama. Sure, you can go ahead and say, like, I don't do live streams because of the dramas, because I always say, try to explain to your neighbor how two people are fighting over a live stream. Well, how do you explain to a neighbor that you almost got canceled because you called a female editor a cum bucket?
There's even in the contracts, which are nothing but solid numbers. If the revenue falls below this point, the partnership is devolved and dissolved. You see what I'm saying? I constantly am being told I have to do something that I don't actually have to do. I'm constantly
Then
being
don't
told
do
that I
it.
would double my money if I did it, but I actually made half as much when I did it.
Then
Like at
don't
some
do it.
point, just stop. Like it's not gonna happen. Or someone needs to give me some
Then
perspective that
don't do
says,
it.
if you go on this and you make this much per the promotion on there, you owe them 2 return visits or whatever. I feel like 2 years ago I tried something exactly like this and it was never ever enough. You ever watch a segment? I was just watching a segment with JB Smoove on Conan, and I absolutely loved it. He was so funny.
What the fuck?
It'd be weird. He's like, "Hey, that was great. That was a fun time. So I'm gonna need you to come back for 1 to 4 hours every, I don't know, like twice a week for the next 5 years."
Then don't do it.
That good with you, JB?
You don't even have to do it for that long.
Is that good with anyone? Would anyone find that anything other than utterly fucking miserable? So
obviously you do find it miserable because again, like even if you didn't want to do live streams, like you don't have to do 4 or 5, 6 hour live streams if you don't want to. Again, you have power, you have agency over your own, decisions and creativity. You're a grown ass man, And again, and I hate to use this word myself, but you're just getting so triggered over this, my dude. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth to be this loud? And I know that's ironic because I've probably gotten loud myself a couple of times watching this video, especially with the ads. It's because of guys like this that I do consider getting ad blockers for YouTube. But then I would feel bad for my actual favorite creators that I'm subscribed to. Like they don't have to pay the price of me blocking their videos just because an asshat like this guy has multiple videos, multiple ads throughout the video. Let's try and power through this. Oh my god, there's 3 more minutes left.
There's the freaking video title. But if you like them, you like them. I've spent years explaining why I don't want to do them. If you're gonna try for the 8 billionth time to get McDonald's to serve freaking spaghetti and fried chicken, you're gonna have to hit me with some solid numbers about at what point is my debt paid off for whatever promotion. Like I said, I've done live streams where it's like I'm pretty sure I would have made as just much money just napping during the same time. Live streams work wildly different for everyone. The ones they work the best on is someone who would still be popular, still be successful, but they don't have a platform as large as the person who is giving them a platform.
Wait, what?
Then what tends to happen is almost all of their sales are on the first day when they do the live stream, on the last day, and in between it's just grim death. There's nothing there because they might have a YouTube channel, but
yeah. But on the other hand, these are projects that probably wouldn't need that extra boost of appearing on a live stream to get funded at all. I'm trying to rationalize what he's saying. I really, really am. But some of the things just sound irrational to me, to the point where it's almost giving me a headache. I'm trying to dissect this as best as possible. because if there's one thing about crowdfunding that I do know about because of colleagues that have done crowdfunding, is that it'll have like a big boost in the beginning of the campaign. There's a lull in the middle where there's barely any backers, if any at all. And then towards the end of the campaign, it picks up again because people kind of don't want to miss out on the campaign, especially if there's new perks added to be unlocked when they hit certain goals or whatever, stretch goals and whatnot. You know, and I have participated on a handful of Kickstarters and Indiegogos as well. You know, I mostly tried to do like a very independent creators, but of course, if a mainstream creator like Sean Gordon Murphy, like when he did the plot holes, like I was, you know, I dived headfirst into that crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, if I'm not mistaken. And when it's other projects like the access to the Black creator community, which is a guidebook that essentially catalogs people of colors, creators, and shops where you can, you know, get their creations, whether they're mainstream or independent. You know, Joseph Illage is one of the editors on those books, and right now he's one of the editors on Heavy Metal. He was an editor as well on Valiant. Like he's a very experienced guy in comic books, very well respected. Um, the owner of my local comic book shop is also one of the editors that's worked on those two Access books, which are pretty cool. Like I participated on the second volume that they did the Kickstarter for. Plus, it's kind of nice to see your name in print in the thank you section. You know, I can humble brag that in the plot holes and in the 2022 Access guide, my name is dropped in the, you know, popped in the special thank you section. And I contributed to a handful of other, you know, crowdfunding from other colleagues and friends and whatnot that, you know, put out their thing, and I want to show my support because I genuinely want the product at the end of the day as well. You know, you complain about doing 200,000 things already to promote your book. You know, what does it hurt to do 201,000 things to promote your book? Like, there is no such thing in my opinion, like too much promotion. Like, of course, they're spamming. If you're like every 5 minutes promoting your book on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vero, TikTok, whatever social media platform you have, or even Reddit or whatever, if you do Reddit, like obviously that's spamming. There's a difference between spamming and putting yourself out there. If you feel you're comfortable enough in a privileged enough position that you don't need to do live streams, I'll even give you the golf clap. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. So you got all the crowdfunding you needed. Cool, man. You know, more power to you, but don't slam other people just because they're doing what they can to promote their own stuff. Don't diss your fan base because they just want to have more of a connection, I guess, with you. So you said no for 8 million times, you know, then apparently you're going to have to say it 9, 10, 11 million more times, billions more times, you know. That's just what happens sometimes, man. You know, like this could have been just, again, this video could have just been like, hi, it's the boy Zack. I don't like podcasts. Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, how about them? They're going to be miserable. But I'm not, because I'm not going to do podcasts or live streams. I hope you understand. I know you all asked for it for millions and millions of times, but it's not my flow. It's not my speed. Until next time, thank you for the support on Indiegogo. Remember, Jawbreakers 8 or whatever it is, $1 for 24 hours, but I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer because I made $100,000 in 24 hours for my campaign. That could have been the whole video right there, you know.
But it doesn't get many views. They might have a Twitter, but it's small. That's when you get those huge things. And then there's all kinds of other factors, like did this person work at Marvel or DC for 10 to 20 years? There are massive differences, but I've literally done multiple times that launch. You know, it's like, hey, you would make 100,000 in an hour if you did that. I did it. It was 4 to 6 hours, and it was 40,000, and it was 40,000 on Jawbreakers Lost Souls. It was around 40,000 on Grand Bazaar. It was around 40,000 on Expendables. I did all that. I did all of that. I made twice as much just doing my own thing. So please, just please, I want to sell you books to read. I don't want my books to be reduced to being super chats that are rewards for me. I don't know, keeping you company on a live stream.
Again, if you even find super chats triggering because you consider that keeping people company on a live stream, turn off the ads on your regular videos. Because for the people that do let the ads run because they're probably a fan and want you to have like the 2 cents or whatever that Google eventually sends you, isn't that them paying you anyway? Keeping them company listening to your videos? Or at least that's what my take is from that, you know, like turn off your ads on your videos. When you're ripping a new one to the newest inclusive, diverse comic or the newest Vita Ayala comic, turn off your ads. Come on, big boy, like turn off your ads. You know, if it's because of people giving you money, turn your ads off.
I take my books very seriously, and I want them to be read. I don't want them to be bought as a reward for me being on live stream.
You take your books seriously, and you don't want people buying your books just simply as a reward for watching you on a live stream. In my opinion, you don't take your book serious enough. You don't give enough credit to your fan base. If it weren't for those early live streams you did, where would your brand be right now? If it weren't for the dark roast that you did, where would your brand be right now? If it weren't because of you trying to move the needle and get better customer service for comic book buyers, where would you be now? Would the first Jawbreakers have been successful? If you didn't rise that storm because of when you got kicked out of Kickstarter or whatever back then, before going to Indiegogo, where would you be now? And those are legitimate questions that I'm asking right now. Do you owe something to the fans? Maybe not personally, but you do owe your career to them. You do realize that. You do realize you are acting pretty much just like the comic book professionals that you will make videos about, in my opinion. Or is it that it's true, the Dark Knight saying, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain? What's next? Are you going to say if you don't like my politics, don't buy my comic? You are a hot dog vendor, according to yourself. If you have a person asking you 8 million times to do a live stream, 8 million times you're going to have to say, I'm sorry, I don't do that. Because that's good customer service. At least in my experience, anyway. You know, apparently you used to live in New York City. I live in New York City myself. Comparing this to like a hot dog vendor, you know, as a true New Yorker, I don't usually go to hot dog vendors because I know they're overpriced for what they are. For the same price, I can probably go to a small scale restaurant or fast food and get more food than what I'm paying for at a typical hot dog cart. But there are times where you're in a rush, you're in a hurry, and the only thing that's in front of you is a hot dog cart or a halal food cart. And you stop and you know, buy your hot dog, buy your lamb over rice or whatever, that's just kebab, whatever you prefer to eat. Because, you know, there's no other option. You're either running late to a work, to a meeting, you're running late to meet someone, you're trying to hurry back home or whatever after a hard day of work. You want to make it to your favorite spot to eat, but it's very cloudy and just about to rain, and you have just enough time to go to one of those carts. It happens. It's New York. It's the city that never sleeps, and you are always busy and always running, unless you are a tourist jamming up the streets in Times Square. I have been known to get an occasional hot dog or halal food. And you know what? Sometimes the customer service is pretty bad. You know, like, I don't want to assume and I don't want to condescend, but because you don't know what type of day that vendor has had, especially in the streets of New York. And I can talk bad about New York because I am a New Yorker. God damn it. I love New York though. Born and bred. Sometimes you don't get the best customer service from a hot dog cart. But sometimes there's that one nugget, there's that one grain of gold between the sand and between the false gold, where they're actually pretty awesome, the cart vendors, where they'll like ask you, how's your day? How have you been? When they ask you like with every minute detail, hey, do you want the sauce on the food? Do you want it on the side? Do you want no sauce at all? Like, how can I help you, boss? Those are the carts that will have my repeated patronage because that is pretty damn good customer service. Am I going to go to a halal cart and ask for a Big Mac or a Whopper or the Popeyes chicken sandwich? Obviously not. As tasty as some of those things are, and as unhealthy as some of those things are, and I'm trying to cut back myself for a while now, because I'm getting up there in the age, and I want to be able to keep this machine going to keep making more comics and some more live streams. Think of the little guy. Like, once you were a little guy yourself on YouTube and Twitter, once you were a little guy trying to make it, there are other little guys, comic skate or not, that are trying to make it themselves. That start their own live streams or hope to get into bigger channels live streams to promote their product, to sell their hot dog. Again, you are a self-proclaimed hot dog vendor. How many times have you asked Marvel and DC and some Image titles to change throughout these years, Zack? How many videos did you ask a writer to change their writing style or an artist to change their art style? How many times have you asked repeatedly editors and the big companies to change comics back to the way they were? From the beginning of your channel until now, how many times did you ask a Big Mac to a Marvel and a DC? How many times did you get tired of reading quote unquote bad comics and ask them to be good again? How many times did you try to promote comics that you believed were actually good? Because I remember the Move the Needle hashtag. That was one of the videos that was sent to me by a colleague when he was like starting to go full blown comics day. How many times have you asked things from Marvel and DC like they owed it to you? How many times did you ask mainstream creators to change their attitude because they owed it to the fans? Don't be this disingenuous. It's not becoming of you. At least from what I have heard and from what little I've seen of the videos. Again, I don't care either way for Comicsgate. They're all my competition anyway, like any other indie creator and mainstream. But you can't shit on your roots, man. What do you owe these people? Your career. Your current career. Literally, your current career is what you owe them. Or do you think on talent alone you would have made it to all these successful campaigns? I really haven't read your stuff, to be honest. And I sure as hell not going to buy anything from you, especially with that attitude that you have. You know, which at the end of the day doesn't really matter because it's, you know, it's not profit from a customer that you had before, so to speak. So you're not really losing or gaining anything by me saying that I would never buy whatever product you put out there because of your attitude. And again, I don't know if you've always been like this. I kind of get a feeling that you weren't because, again, you used to be the type of person that would do live streams in the beginning, that would appear on other live streams, that you would sell your hot dog.
And that's all I have to say. What does Forrest Gump say? That's all I have to say about that. So anyway, Jawbreakers Forever. The $1 deal is extended indefinitely. That doesn't mean much. It could end tonight. It could end tomorrow as soon as the books to backers ratio goes below 2-1. It goes, back to a regular price for a graphic novel, $25. And Iron Sights 3, Impossible Stars 2 came up with the plot. It's going to be probably about 100 pages. Ibai will draw. This is for the sequel to these two books, which will be one book. The reason these two books are on the same campaign is because they are in the same universe. Came up with the plot with that. Ibai draws the Earth scenes. Renzo draws the space scenes. And very, very excited about all of these books. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I'm actually surprised that no ads popped up at the end of the video because I swear to God. So yeah, there you have it. I've now finally seen the whole video. it's pretty much what I expected it to be. To be honest, there was no real surprises there. The only real surprise was just like how aggressive he was at certain points. To be honest, what a silly, silly thing in my opinion. Like, is it this? This has probably been the most useless stream I've done. No cap. This is probably the most useless stream I've ever done. But again, I guess it's worth it just to keep playing this scene over and over and over and over again. There you have. That's pretty much everything in a nutshell. Um, hopefully, a couple of things before I guess like drop dead in front of the on my desk after the broadcast ends. Things will be changing around here. These got set back over some personal reasons that I wasn't able to finish organizing a lot of things. And as you know, I didn't live stream last week for the most part because of that. Maybe I'll talk about it at some point. You know, maybe to fill that void, that emptiness that I have, that I don't have that connection with you guys for a second. You know, a connection that I don't have with my family. Because you see, when I was young, I lost my parents, and I was just a baby. I was raised by a female wolf that had lost her cubs. Very sad story. Netflix is developing the documentary on it. Anyway, I am going to be organizing things better. I'm going to be setting up a lot of cool stuff that hopefully you guys will get a kick out of. I'm having the time of my life doing these things. You know, again, I just hope that I put content out there of value that helps inspire you guys to work on your own creative endeavors if you are a creative, or just to keep you entertained or whatever. Because live streams to me, I don't see them as, and even podcasts, of course. To me, I don't see them as just a never-ending well of misery. I see them as the new radio talk shows. I didn't listen to that many radio talk shows when I was younger, but when I would do like my own like crude comics on notebooks when I was starting to like develop my artistic skills, I would listen to some of my preferred radio shows at night while I would do it. That's basically what live streams and podcasts are to me, you know. Yes, like something to listen to, either to um, listen while I'm working on something, while I'm organizing or cleaning the apartment. You know, it's always great background noise. And sometimes I just learn something new as well, you know, depending on what kind of podcast or live stream it is. You know, at the end of the day, you do you, do what you love to do. Don't let anybody ever talk down to you for what you love to do, you know, because even if it's not, again, the same taste of somebody else, that doesn't mean you're a lesser person than that other guy that doesn't like what you do. You know, don't succumb to that negativity. And again, I actually, in a way, feel bad for him because what has happened to him to actually, like, you know, lash out the way he did. Because if anything, this rant sounded more unhealthy than any live stream I have done or that I have watched. Unless it's mukbang live streams. Those are bizarre in my opinion. Again, if you enjoy mukbang live streams or mukbang videos, which if you don't know what those are, it's essentially people eating as much as they humanly can during a live stream or a video, you know. Again, if you find entertainment in that, you know, good for you. Once again, you're not lesser than me or anything like that. I'm not gonna look down on you. You know, if I talked about it despectively right now, it's more tongue in cheek kind of irony kind of thing, Again, you do you watch what you love, do what you want to do, within reason, as long as it's not detrimental to your health. Like obviously it would be detrimental to Zach's health if he did like any kind of live stream or appear on someone's live stream. Don't do it. It's as simple as that. And again, if you're going to preach about customer service, kind of rewind and look back on your older videos. Maybe you'll gain a broader perspective from going into the past and going back into your roots as well. Because again, you can't complain about people repeating the same thing over and over to you when you built your entire brand repeating the same thing over and over to big comic book companies and creators as well. That pendulum swings both ways, brother. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day. The weekend is approaching. Today is a great day because I'm going to grab my new comics, and I'm very much looking forward to Batman 125. Chip Zdarsky, one of my favorite writers. He's been killing it on Daredevil. Can't wait to read his Batman run. Jorge Jimenez, he has an almost legendary status run right now on Batman. Ever since he was on the title with Tinian the Fourth, So yeah, very exciting times, at least for myself as a comic book fan, anyway. And I'm also looking forward to the latest issue of Sean Gordy Murphy's White Knight universe as well. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend once it approaches. And again, stay creative. Do what you love within reason as long as it doesn't hurt yourself or others. And most importantly, be kind, not just to others, but be kind to yourself. Always be kind to yourself because you can't be completely kind to other people unless you start being kind to yourself.